Rob, speaking at the parade, Erdogan hailed his allies' victory, but really this is as much about Erdogan celebrating his own political triumph, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's a bit of both, to be honest. Yeah, certainly he was there to celebrate what he called the glorious victory of the Azerbaijani armed forces. Remember just how close Turkey and Azerbaijan are. You know, ethnically, there's nothing to separate them at all. They pretty much speak the same language. Culturally, they're indistinguishable almost. They're co-religionists. You know, and Turkey, for as long as Azerbaijan has been an independent state, has always been extremely supportive. And the key, of course, in the fighting is that Turkish weaponry, Turkish drones in particular, are what turned the tide of the battle, the tide of the conflict over the last 2 decades in favor of the Azerbaijanis. If it hadn't been for Turkish support at various different levels, including training, military guidance, backup, and in particular those drones that I was speaking of, it's questionable whether Azerbaijan could have won this conflict now. But they did, and they owe it largely to the Turks. That's why Recep Tayyip Erdogan is there. And also, let's not forget to celebrate his own geopolitical triumph. He, by making sure Turkey stepped in to the region when the conflict started in September between Armenia and Azerbaijan on the side of Azerbaijan, made sure that Turkey would emerge as one, if not the key power broker in the region. Russia was surprisingly reticent. Erdogan took his opportunity and is paying for that triumph today. He's celebrating that triumph today. He will want to take things forward as well. He's looking now at the possibility of Turkish troops being involved alongside Russian troops as peacekeepers in the region. He'll need the Armenians to give the go-ahead for that, and it's not likely to happen. But he's looking beyond, too, as well, looking to expand through Azerbaijan to Central Asia, across the Caspian Sea, trying to muscle into areas where others are competing for influence as well, like Iran and China and Russia, of course. He sees this as a stepping stone.
Rob, Erdogan is also calling for Armenia to be held responsible for war crimes that were committed during this conflict. But this is a two-way street, isn't it? I mean, hasn't there been a lot of condemnation of Azerbaijani troops and their behavior during the conflict as well?
It is absolutely a two-way street. The Turks have a point. The bombardment of Azerbaijani towns by the Armenians like Barda and Ganje, where many civilians died, could be classified as war crimes. And there's no doubt that the Armenian troops in this conflict were guilty at some level of war crimes as well. But no doubt either that the bulk of the evidence that's beginning to seep into the social media at the moment from Azerbaijan, from videos posted by Azerbaijani soldiers themselves, does rather point to an even worse record on the part of the Azerbaijani armed forces than that of the Armenians. Amnesty International just today has posted its findings following its investigation of 22 videos, which it says point conclusively to war crimes committed both by Armenian soldiers and Azeri soldiers. The report speaks of depravity and a lack of humanity on both sides.
Rob Parsons, always appreciate your insight into this story. Thank you.